that we're going to refer to, which is the case of Northwest Hydraulics itself. And since it's being outlined as a benchmark case here, I'd like to talk about why that was in and what specific factors made that a great case, not only from a tax court point of view, but from a practitioner's point of view, to understand what is it that is SR&ED and what's not SR&ED. So in the case of Northwest Hydraulics, we had some very skilled researchers. They were both professional engineers and, in fact, PhDs that were professors at universities in Alberta, I believe. The objectives were nicely quantified. They wanted to decrease bed load disposition, reduce scouring of downstream sediments in designing a big riverbed or basically all of the structures that would go along a riverbed in this case to meet these objectives. They looked at different articles, they looked at patents, they looked at competitive processes, and they identified variables, and this is very important, variables of uncertainty that went beyond what the judge felt was readily predictable for someone skilled in the art. That generally means that there's a model or a predictive algorithm, or there's some set of principles that say this is exactly how you design a dam. And what was interesting about this case is it became challenged for the fact that the CRA reviewer claimed that the scientists, because they were so skilled, really could not have any uncertainty in developing a dam. That because they had developed so many dams in the past and had such a high level of qualification, that any problem that they encountered would be routine, and that ultimately, if they spent enough time experimenting with it, they could figure it out. So that every problem, in fact, to them was routine. The judge even commented that they were, in fact, being held to a level of excellence that was unrealistic. Okay? So what these individuals did is they said, you know what, we'll admit that we are very skilled and knowledgeable in it, but we don't know everything. And we can identify specific variables that we will have to experiment with. We can't readily predict with any existing or known model. And to determine the results, whether these combinations of variables will achieve our objectives or not, we are going to be required to do experiment or analysis. And they were very specific about what these variables were. They were the alignment and shape of the intake structures, which could have upstream or downstream effects on the training dikes and the spurs, or the design of the scour production scheme, or the design of the settling basin geometry, or the weirs or sluiceways, or etc. But what happened here is, in the court's opinion, is that we had an example of an exemplary SR&ED project. And not only the pronouncements that were made in that, but the fact that this project was so strong and so amenable to being modeled as something that can provide a framework for other claimants to follow what an eligible project could be, I think is very significant. So we're going to refer to this, I guess, as we go back